Now we have already approached the last part of our C++ 101 course. The last chapter that I am going to cover is the object-oriented programming with C++. Now in C++ 101, I will not go in the deep of the object-oriented programming. In fact, I am not going to discuss about the object or classes at all. Rather, in this video, I will try to convince you that why object-oriented paradigm is better than this procedural paradigm what you have just learned. How it can add some more advantage to your program. This understanding is very important, and once you are convinced with this, then in the next level of the C++ course, we are going to discuss about this object-oriented programming in more detail. So let's try to understand what are the benefits. Well, in these slides, you will see lots of different things on the screen. However, we are not going to discuss any of this in this C++ 101 course. Rather, we will directly go inside these classes and objects, and then we will directly go inside this why part. Anyway, so what is classes and object? There are lots of different characteristics. There are lots of definitions that you will find in the internet. But for this course, we will restrict ourselves with these characteristics of class. Class is something where you can encapsulate multiple data elements of varying types as well as functions under the same name. You can compare it to the concept of an array that you have learned in this course. Array is a collection of homogeneous data element, that is, all the data element inside an array are same type. However, in class, you can encapsulate multiple types of element. Also, you can encapsulate functions. So, how such a structure is going to give you some benefit? This type of structure actually has some enormous capability to represent the real world things in a very easy fashion. A simple example can clarify the concept. Let's say, consider presenting a group of 10 students with some information. All the students have their names, majors, grades, and address. So in a non-object oriented or the procedural way that you have just learned, what you can do is you can use 4 different array for these 4 different type of information. The first array is name, the second array is major, the third array is grade, the fourth array is address. They can be of different data types. The first one is string, the second one is string, the third one is double, the fourth one is again string. So for each information in the non-object oriented or procedural paradigm, you can make 4 different arrays and then you can solve the problem. However, in an object-oriented paradigm, you can make a student class. As I have told, a class can encapsulate varying type of data element inside it, that is under the same name. So here actually, that's exactly what I have done. Inside the class called student, I have encapsulated the student's name, the student's major, the student's grade, and the address. And after encapsulating that, using the C++ syntax, it is possible to make an array of this student type. Now, in the beginning, this array, this object-oriented concept may feel like you are doing a lots of extra coding for nothing. Just like you are utilizing some new concept like class, then you need to know some different syntax, then you are defining some array utilizing the class name. So all different types of alien concepts, some extra piece of code, something like that. However, think this thing for four different information of a student. Well, of course, it may be a overkill. But now think of a real world scenario. In a university, when they maintains the record of a students, there can be hundreds of different information. Their name, major, grades, address, SAT score, first name in a different way, the grades for each course separately, lots of different things. At that point, how are you going to represent that in a non-object oriented paradigm? You have to use hundreds of different arrays for all those to represent all those hundreds of different information of a student, which is really not feasible. And on top of that, for each of those hundreds of array, you have to take care of their looping, you have to take care of their data type in separate way. However, if you are using class, you can just encapsulate everything under the same name, adding just one line. And after that, using some C++ syntax in a very easy to use fashion, you can access each of these element by using the same name called student. This is possible. So that is the benefit of object-oriented paradigm. For small set of data, it may sound a little bit of overkilling, but when the information explodes, you really need to design your code, design your program, or design your software in really a good fashion so that it can be easily understandable and it can easily handle some problems. That's where object-oriented programming is very, very necessary. So that is the benefit of the object-oriented paradigm, and in this C++ 101 course, we will restrict ourselves in here. And if you are interested to know about the object-oriented programming more, please wait for the next level of C++ course, which will be released soon in our website.